All the things.
All of the things.
Hello, everyone. Hello. How are you all doing tonight? Iravu, Nutterandom3, Mothy, Xanalar. Hello, darlings.
Random.
It's good to see you. Tonight I am joined by Crazy Toddler, often known as Cradler.
Yeah.
Or CT.
All of the things.
The wonderful interdimensional gremlin.
Yes.
Say hi, Cradler.
Hello.
And tonight, we're going to be doing a bit of art and world building.
Yes. Can't pronounce it, but
as for those of you who are new here, Cradler and I both build our own worlds. And this week is mine, which is known as Aido, until a better thing comes up. Aido is the name of the world. I don't know if it's the setting name. And Aido is an interesting setting. Those who live on Aido describe it as the lands at the bottom of the universe. It looks vaguely like that. Where did Cradler come from?
people trying to shorten it in various ways.
Also, that's not how I would spell it, Mom. Craydler. Like cray cray.
Cray cray.
Exactly. I need to bully mode soon. Curious. But they describe it as the lands at the bottom of creation as outside, as Aido is subject to a very strange phenomenon known as the bloom. The bloom is able to be seen wherever light gathers as a shimmering rainbow-like projection in the air. And if you are not careful, it will try and come towards you and seek your being. Even if it's unsuccessful in that, the bloom is still dangerous. For if it's concentrated enough, if it's powerful enough, the bloom can sometimes open and let the outside in. No one knows what's through the bloom and in the outside. Everyone has their own theories, their own particular thoughts about what might be waiting out there. But given the things that come back from the outside, no one really wants to be the first to go and find out. And so this week, Worldforge Thursdays operates on a fortnightly schedule. Every fortnight, we have a theme, and we do something along that theme. First from Eden, that is Dear Cradler's world, and then from Aido, which is your local Hive Queen's world. And this week, I thought it would be interesting if we explored the iknitese, which is the friendliest thing of the outside.
I was scared of Peter.
Mode, thank you so much. It's deeply appreciated. And a fortnight is indeed 14 days. I'll give you your time. Oops. I need my, I'm still getting used to this tool.
Which tool?
Cradler, you are buzzing.
Am I buzzing? Am I doing the thing?
Yeah. I think you got it.
Did it?
Wait? No.
It may randomly do that.
Oh no. Let me see if I can do a thing real quick. Okay, that should help. It is. I think you'll come to find, Zanlar, that things tend to get a little bit creepy when Cradler's around.
I have a slightly cursed audio card, so there may be some cursed audio emissions as a result.
Alright, so the iknitese is the friendliest thing from the outside. Its behavior is often likened unto a dog's, in that it will find sapient life and attach itself to it, following it around, seeking nothing more than to touch and lick at its flesh. If allowed to do this, it will split its tongue in two, again and again and again, until the strands of flesh are so fine that they begin to intermingle with the person who permitted it. And if not stopped, the two will slowly become one creature. Nice to hear you're excited, Cradler.
The mental image, but also my brain going like, such closeness. To become one with your friends.
This is why you don't like hugs. Understandable, Moppy.
It's okay, Moth. None of us have tongues that split this far.
Well, not without practice, certainly.
Yeah. Might take a little bit of a Fine. I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm just going to do my tooling around because I don't know. I have the description, and I'll
Yeah, I've sent Crayler a description. We'll see what she makes of it.
do something. It'll be great. It's an adventure.
Humans are very frightening. They do eat poison for trends. They eat poison to have fun. They eat poison to go to sleep. It's a very scary world you live on. But I want you to know you'll have someone looking out for you from above. Because this is one of the friendliest creatures from the outside. Which is not to say it's not dangerous. Part of what makes creatures from the outside so dangerous is that they don't operate according to any particular rules that people of the world can understand. You do understand, these things are the size of about an Irish wolfhound, I'd say. The size of one of the very large dogs. Or, maybe a small lion.
Perfect for cuddling up at night.
Maybe I can start some sort of... Don't worry, darling. Just look up tonight, and I'll see if I can't find you. Very awkward. Iknitese. I like to imagine that someone at one point kept one as a pet. Thing is, in theory, you can actually survive bonded to one. But you'll slowly be dying, or parts of you will be the entire time. As its tongue continues to move through you, bit by bit, parts of your body will be starved of nutrients, the blood flow choked off, and eventually they will wither and decay. No one knows why the iknitese does this. Some say it doesn't do it to feed, despite the persistent rumors that some people seem to think it does. It doesn't need this to survive or breathe, nor does it have any trouble finding those that it attaches itself to. Some say that this is simply that they are demons, that all they wish to do is harm humanity, and that's the easiest and slowest way to extract the most pain. But some say instead that all they really want is to feel another's touch, the only way they know how. That in truth, they are some of the world's loneliest creatures. A world that has no place for them. It's rare to find one running around wild, mercifully. And the light pollution... Yes, light pollution is quite bad. And now you know why Mothie doesn't like hugs. You never know when a hug might kill you.
I mean, valid.
Very valid. Also, Zanlar, I suppose you could probably keep one if you had very, very thick, just a very thick bodysuit that you wore at all times and made sure to lock it up very, very well, very, very far away from you. Because they're not, it's very unclear how intelligent the iknitese are. They could be unintelligent entirely, but they're incredibly clever when it comes to finding ways to find the people that they have formed an emotional attachment to. They've been known to unlock cages, to travel for tens of miles, to even navigate entire cityways just to find the person who they encountered first after they became lost on this world. Just to try and snuggle up to them and entwine their flesh with theirs. It doesn't just stalk randomly. It's just looking for the first intelligent, sapient life form it ever encountered. And it just wants their love and affection forever. Their behavior is not unlike that of a dog who just wants you to praise it and say, "Good boy." Iravu, sweetheart. Iravu, darling, that is a mood. That is a mood and a half. Yep, here we go. A muzzle would delay it for a while. I imagine somewhere in Aido, there's some very wealthy, very powerful individual who has a few of these as trophy pets, who doesn't actually care for them themselves. But I imagine every so often they lose one of the handlers when they figure out how to get out of the muzzle and find them in the night to touch them. Some people say that the only sense of touch that the iknitese have is via their tongues, if indeed it even is their tongue. People have suggested it's many different things. Some even say they use it to implant eggs in their victim. But, well, no one's ever found any sorts of eggs inside of them when one of these things touches. There we go. Bit of a waste, but still. But pet upkeep involves regular buying of muzzles. I imagine it must. I was told to apologize for something taking too long from random. I don't feel like you have to, Moon. But if you do need to, then I will act as witness of what you've done. Well, best of luck then, Moon. So, I think the best way to illustrate the dangers of the iknitese is the story of King Init is the story of King Anituke. King Anituke was a very wise king, but although he was wise and strong and cunning, he also possessed a deep, deep pride. And it was that pride that would one day be his undoing. He was so proud because it was said that he could master anything, tame any creature, master any man, woo any woman. Such were the things and gifts of King Anituke. And in his pride, when someone brought something before him that he had never seen, King Anituke accepted it from them, saying that they need not be afraid, and that this too he would master. That thing was an iknitese. He kept it in the stables with his animals. And,
Sounds like a bad idea.
Probably. And every day, he would take it and teach it and tame it, and the iknitese was all too eager to follow along, to watch and listen to his commands. It did everything he asked for and more, all too eager to jump and sit and roll. As soon as he could think of something for it to do, the iknitese would do it. At first, he put down the fears of the peasant who came to him as nothing more than the superstition of those uneducated. But then his servants began to complain. They said that at night they would hear noises in the halls. They said that when the king was not around, the iknitese would simply stare and watch them, its large eyes, unblinking, silent witness to everything they did. King Anituke dismissed these at first, but the rumors continued, and his servants began to grow scared and wary. And so, slowly, at last one day, the king began to take to wandering the halls at night, wrapped up in a cloak and scarf so that none would recognize him easily. He began to pass among his servants, and he began to try and listen. And slowly, bit by bit, he began to hear what they heard, the soft sounds of movement in the night, the quiet motions of something in the dark of the palace, just out of the torchlight. At first, King Anituke was disturbed by these, but then he grew angry. Was he not Anituke? Was he not the Lord of man and beast? Was he not the one who could master anything, tame any creature? No, he would not be afraid. This thing could not make him cower. That was the way of peasants and the lowmen, the superstitious lot, who had to be afraid of the lions and wolves in the dark. The ones who feared, in equal measure, the Cape buffalo and the jaguar. No, he would not be like them. He was never like them. He was Anituke, king of his land, master of all. To show everyone, to show himself that he was not afraid, Anituke took the iknitese and put a collar around its long neck, and he said, "This thing shall sleep at my side, and I will show the world of my mastery." He muzzled it and collared it and kept it on a leash, and in time it became a common sight through the palace, moving ahead of its king, obedient, docile. But one night, at the end of a long day of ruling, the king noticed something. The mask he had placed over the thing's trunk seemed odd, the colors more pale. He dismissed it at first, but the thought nagged at him. Until one day, he took it to a leatherworker, who tested it, and when they tried to remove it from the beast, they could not pull it free. Curious and perplexed, the king questioned first the leatherworker, and then they went and asked those who knew of his work. They said the leatherworker was a master of the craft, someone who knew what he was doing and whose word was beyond repute. Puzzled, King Anituke was forced to accept that he had not been being tricked or misled. What then could it mean? The mask was not able to be removed. Then, a few nights later, he woke to a soft sound in his bedroom. Pausing in the dark, he waited, but the sound did not recur. But night after night, the sound came back, a soft, subtle, until one night, it stopped coming. And the next morning, the front of the iknitese's muzzle was completely pallid and white and seemed sticky. He took the beast to a doctor, who said that perhaps the leather had become rotten and it needed to be removed. So, he made an appointment tomorrow and committed to getting it removed one way or the other. Gortok, thank you for the lurk, darling. That night, however, the iknitese moved, denied of another's touch for so long. The creature's tongue had at last wormed its way through its mask, and it moved, falling up beside its master, the thin filaments of flesh twining around his arm and intertangling with it. When next morning he woke, things had changed. For King Anituke, the iknitese had bonded with him, and they were now inseparable. Where his arm ended, its trunk began, and slowly over time, the thin strip of leather that had once separated them wore away and became lost. Slowly, the arm was swallowed by the thing's tongue, until at last, Anituke swallowed his pride and found the local shaman and asked the shaman priest to remove his arm, to get rid of the creature once and for all. And so it's said to this day in the kingdom of Yejide that the reign of King Anituke, the Lord with one arm, was the most prosperous time, but also the time when all the world learned to fear the iknitese's affection. It's a friendly little creature that just wants to play with you and love you and be part of your life forever from beyond reality, Zanlar. I don't think it's meant for you to be okay with it.
It just wants forever hugs.
Yeah? Does it at least move to an ergonomic position? Oh, no. Xenalar, darling, no. These things are probably about, I don't know, that's what? Maybe, I think that's like,
I think if an Irish Wolfhound stands upright, it's going to be like a 6 or 7 foot man.
yeah, I think that's like 1.2 to 1.3 meters at the shoulder. And this is flexible, right? There can be small ones at times. In truth, there is no single iknitese. They are a description of a certain kind of thing from the outside.
More like a category, isn't it?
I think a category is the right term, yes.
Or genus, something.
If it has a trunk, kill it with fire. If you must, if you must. You absolutely must. I suppose I can't blame you, darling. They are a bit worrying. And this is one of the outside's most benign creatures.
Pleasant place.
People who go to the outside usually don't want to and rarely return.
Sounds like a stay inside vacation.
Yes. The people of Aido believe very strongly in the idea of staying inside. And by that I mean actually in the world, or I suppose if you want to use a more classic D&D term, inside the plane they live on. This is one of those monsters where I prefer just an old-fashioned beastie that tries to bite me to death instead of this tragic horror. I can understand that. I can see that. Um, it's not the most dangerous, truthfully. It's all of its attacks, if you were to put them that way, are either relatively weak. I think it rolls on a d6 minus 2 with its current design. But the attachment, which is the thing it's after, the thing it's always going to be trying to do, takes a few rounds and several actions in Pathfinder 2. You mean the fact that really it's just trying to be friends? That's very fair. I guess just raise that question. And I think that was the trap that King Anituke fell into. It would do anything for him. And I think the iknitese he had loved him in as much as they are capable of loving something. I certainly am aware of the Ribbonworm's proboscis. That's one of the influences of this creature. How about you, Cradler?
Huh?
Do you know what a ribbonworm is?
Are those the ones that like go up your leg and stuff? Or is that a different worm?
I don't know. Ribbonworms have they have a proboscis that subdivides repeatedly. I'll see if I can provide you a picture, as it was one of the influences for this. You can see and that's a still of how it goes. But its proboscis extrudes and then separates into small things.
Just
It's very interesting to see in motion. It looks like a tree made of white goo growing before your eyes.
just barfing out vein work.
Yeah. I like the idea of them having a very sort of stubby little thing that's almost like a tail. It's a very difficult creature, I think, to encounter because as far as you can tell, there's no malice or harm to its nature. It simply doesn't understand the way this world works or what you need to survive. This means that ultimately, an iknitese that is left in the waking world will slowly move from master to master, its adoration for them slowly killing them off one by one, with the poor creature never any the wiser.
It just thinks it's giving love, and then the master's gone, and then it's alone again.
Mm. Exactly.
So
That's like the title of this stream. See, I might have to turn you up a little bit.
Oh,
No, you're fine for this stream. You're not fine for me.
oh.
There we go.
Let's say I have my little ancient Logitech stand desktop mic thing, so if I lean away from it, I'm suddenly very far away.
What you need is a troll or something else with generation is its master. That just occasionally lops its arm off when it gets too bad.
I mean, that might work. Maybe.
That could actually work, yeah. You know what that would be, too? That would be an absolutely horrifying little, boss encounter. Can you imagine a troll that's been keeping and caring for one of these? That can actually, like, command one as a proper animal. Could you imagine one of these still gripping the most recent arm of its master?
Be kind of fun, though. I'm not gonna lie. Horrifying but fun.
Yeah. Xanalar was in a game where they found a troll in a spider cave that was wrapped up and had been being used as a quote unquote everlasting gobstopper by the spiders there.
Oof.
I assume giant spiders. There's no normal sized spiders in D&D, are there?
I would imagine there exists somewhere, but probably not as a thing that's statted. Unless you do like a swarm, maybe.
Yeah. It's usually not statted. That's fair. Crather, I love your take on this thing.
I don't know what's happening. I'm just going.
Oh no, I love. If I were to choose one as like the more official one, I think I'd probably do Crather's. Yeah, that expression is so right.
You said it had a little sad face, so I had to make sure he's sad.
Big sad eyes.
Ah, like a little puppy.
Exactly. What do they eat if not a person? Zanlar, no one knows what the iknitese eat. They don't seem to eat anything. Much like the chameleon, some theorize they eat only air. In legends, the chameleon eats only air, and in Aido, the stories are true. Let's see. Uh, the chameleon is. The chameleon eating air is a long time story myth, I suppose. And it's the idea that because chameleons never move, and never eat, and never drink, they must drink only rain and eat only air. That's one of your world stories. You can't blame me for that one. And then I have to study on this.
Hmm?
I have to study on the tongue.
Also, just gonna say, 1010 would crowdfund Velix ASMR reading of Eldritch horror stories.
Thank you, darling. Maybe I'll do it at a follower count. Do an ASMR reading, an ASMR reading of horror stories.
It's so fun. So you were describing like all the horrific things that just happens because of the nature of this thing, but it was also really relaxing.
Yeah.
Somebody come up with a combination of fear and comfort word in the chat.
Please, if anyone knows like some German word or something that means like comforting terror, I would love that. A good voice for it. Well, thank you, Zebla. That's gonna be a thing. I will start doing that. I start a podcast. I just might.
It'd be fun.
I don't know what I would read though. I don't know many horror stories. Well, I mean, maybe the Blizzard class action lawsuit for employee relations.
Oof. I'm sure that's horrific.
Because I need yet another thing on my schedule. Absolutely.
Always.
As long as you are able to do everything on your schedule is clearly not yet full enough.
Obviously.
That's what every manager I've had ever has told me.
Like a manager thing to say.
Let's see. Yeah, if anyone has any horror story suggestions, I'd be happy to do that. Who knows, maybe I'll even write some.
Be fun.
It would be fun. Got other things I need to finish writing too.
All of the writing.
All the writing, all the drawing. I think it would be interesting for someone to try and find a way to use or tame one of these things. They have a decent intelligence score. I think I want to say they're intelligence 7 or 6.
I mean, that should be smart enough. It's like
an older child. Like maybe a freshly pupated nymph, maybe.
I was gonna say you're getting to barbarian territory. Might be a little mean to the barbarians, but
I will have you once know I rolled a barbarian with a 17 intelligence. It was 18 strength, 17 intelligence.
Educated barbarian.
I asked my GM, I said, GM, you know those giant art books that are like, like about a meter, sorry, like 3 feet, 4 feet high, and like maybe like a foot and a half thick that are like bound in like wood or metal? And my GM said yes. And I said, if I take weapon focus, improvised weapon, would that count for that? And they just kind of looked at me. And they said, I guess, but why would you want to?
Why wouldn't you want to? It's the bigger question.
It certainly was for me.
Like, come on, why would you not?
And so I ended up that game playing, I believe his name was Carl, and he was, what did I call him? The Librarian.
Yes.
And I got a bookshelf that I put straps on, and he would just carry it around with him on his back.
10/10 approve.
Oh, it was fantastic. Like, he didn't wear a shirt, like he had an animal for a loincloth, but he also had like these very thick, like Coke bottle glasses, and wore like a necktie and like a proper double Windsor. Welcome back, Random.
Oh.
72. Auras. Another random 3. Is that seems like an awful large number of them.
How many are?
72.
Why are there 72?
I don't know why 72. That feels a bit excessive.
Counting these auras.
Oops. Let's see. I'm still not sure what I should be using for, lines. They prove difficult.
What do you mean? Like tool-wise?
Yeah.
I usually use the G pen. That's what I'm using right now.
That's pretty good. It actually feels like a real G-pin, too.
Yeah, it feels pretty decent. It feels pretty good. I know the Duralfi folks use a pen called the Good Pen, but
The
I
good
don't.
pin.
Yeah, and I guess it's actually called the Good Pen, but like I haven't found it yet, and they said it's a little bit hard to find in the resource thing, but it should be in the resource thing.
I'm gonna have to try that sometime.
Find it. But the G Pen do pretty good.
It does. Your lines can be these beautiful straight lines, and mine are gonna be this awful little shaky mess. because my hands tremble constantly.
As my lines are like all over the place, and I'm redoing lines left and right, just like.
Oh, yeah. So, my it is unfortunately.
Started with much thinner lines. I have much thicker lines down here. There. If I had done this on a rasta, not a rasta, a vector layer, I could redraw the thickness for each and every line. But I did not do that.
The gremlin energy is too strong in you, random. I can't say I understand myself. I don't think I have big gremlin energy. I'm not entirely sure what energy I have. You all will have to let me know at some point.
The mommy energy.
I guess it makes sense for someone who styles herself like a queen, huh?
Yes.
Xanalar said I have the Ara Ara energy. What is the Ara Ara energy?
You got someone backed against a wall, and you got the one hand resting there, and you lean in, and you give them that
I did not know that. I'm sorry about the ADHD, not a random 3. Is that what the Ara Ara's for?
I can't remember what the Ara actually means. It's usually, I think of subtitles, they'll usually be like, oh, like my, look here.
I think the best translation for Ara Ara I've heard is well.
Yeah. So like kind of, I don't know, I guess like your mistress is just like walking up to you and you're like, look at what we have here.
Usually while looming over someone, I do tend to loom.
Like that kind of just, yeah.
Yeah, at about 270, it's hard not to. It's part of what makes humanity adorable, though. Too spicy for Twitch? I don't think so. But still. These... I feel really bad for the, iknitese.
They just need hugs. But they absorb the hugs, and then there's no longer a hug.
The thing is, I think it'd probably be less creepy if they absorbed them. Because they don't absorb them.
Oh, they're just cell death?
No. What it is that as their tongue melds to your flesh, slowly, cell by cell, it will slowly choke out the blood supply to the cells. It doesn't mean to. I doubt it knows even what it's doing. It's just trying to move you and itself as close together as it can.
Trying to get in there. Trying to bring it in close.
Exactly.
So really, if you taught him about boundaries, might be okay.
Maybe. I think they're compelled to do it, though.
Be closer.
And not a random 3. I understand that.
Oh, I hate my brain.
Why do you hate your brain?
Because I really want to name one Steve Irwin, because they just want to get a little closer. That's terrible.
Riddler, that's awful.
It is, but it also fits.
Do you at least feel bad about it?
Yeah, but I'm still gonna laugh.
Okay, that's all I can ask.
That's why I'm not allowed to have thoughts.
Cradler, I've seen you with thoughts before. 2 on each arm some days.
Danger is when we stop thinking. Good.
It's been so long since I've used a G-pen. It's very hard.
It is. But it's okay. I think you can handle it.
I think I can. I'm sorry for setting off your needle vein. Yeah.
Needle vein phobia?
Yeah. I managed to solve Sandlor's vein phobia with the descriptions of their tongues.
Oh.
The face actually reminds me a little bit, like the way I had done mine, reminds me a little bit of those old gas masks that your people used to have. You know,
Yeah.
like the World War II ones.
Yeah.
I think, I honestly think this might be better for me. I'm gonna try this real quick.
Trying.
I'm actually gonna use a pencil to do the full inks because of the effect it grants it.
I mean, whatever works.
I hope it works. We're gonna find out.
Find out today.
I don't understand how you manage not to rotate your canvas.
I'm dumb and I don't do tools.
What?
I'm dumb and I don't use the tools.
No, but all of your lines look amazing, and you don't rotate your canvas.
I think I did for the trunk, but I think that was it.
She's actually rotating around a tablet. Cradler, are you in fact rotating your tablet?
No, because my boobs are on the tablet.
Ah, yes. The secret curse of Booba.
Hey, it's a good shelf.
You should obviously, wait, all you need to do is trade places. Lean forward, put your booba on the table, put the tablet on your booba.
There we go.
Clearly that will improve your drawing 1000%.
Now it's too slanted. Hold on, let's see if I can draw like this. Nope.
I believe in you.
Nope. Yeah. It's more awkward because it slants upward towards me. I'll take that line though. Shenanigans. Oh yeah.
Vanlar would like to commend you for trying.
I did try.
Imagine being good at drawing. I know, right? I have no idea what that must be like.
I don't know either.
No artist knows what it's like to be good at drawing. We just do it.
Do it. And, you know, sometimes you enjoy the thing that you put on the thing.
Zanlar thinks that every artist thinks they are at best subpar.
'Tis the inner critique.
Yeah. That
Once you've
constant
drawn it.
niggling voice that goes, you see that line there? You know you messed up on that line.
Yes. Second we're done with it, we're like, could have done that better though.
Yeah. Oh, there's a project I'm working on right now. I'm not even done with it. And there's parts that keep driving me crazy where it's like, if I stop to fix everything that is driving me bananas, I would never get done. Well, part of why I like hosting this is it gives us a chance not only to work on the artwork and to tell some stories, but also to actually see what people think of them. And so, I think both Krayler and I deeply appreciate everything that you guys say and all of the encouragement you offer. Are you still drawing on Booba?
No, I moved it back
Oh,
down.
okay. Oh, so you're doing really good for that. But you
I
moved it.
moved it back down.
Probably the best thing for the Booba they were ever designed to be drawn on.
They would have lived. It's just drawing at a sudden. The end of the tablet towards you is suddenly 4 inches high versus the other end that is table height.
That would be a problem, yeah.
A little
This
offset.
this is part of why this is part of why I either do things in zero G and just have it on the wall in front of me, or if I must concede to gravity, why I just get something where I can just recline back and stretch my arms way in front of me. It helps.
I agree with that thought.
You should try it sometime.
I'll have to.
It will mess up your drawing for a little bit until your arm gets used to the new position.
I bet it'll do wonders for the back and shoulders.
Yeah.
That's too thick.
Isn't stretched arms bad for drawing? I have no idea.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't know why they would be.
Don't quote me on it, but I don't think so.
You can draw straight lines without help? Not a random 3. I would love to know how you accomplish this.
How? What's sorcery?
Yeah.
Are you a draftsman?
That's the only thing I could think of. Wrist power. Clearly, I don't have wrist power.
I call shenanigans.
So do I. I call complete shenanigans.
Yeah. As are.
Okay, I think we're doing better this time around with the creature. With the little iknitese. Poor thing looks, it's so sad looking.
It is a sad baby.
I shall refrain from making an immature joke about that, but I am unable to help but point out the opportunity existed. Well, Xanalar, I feel like you're compelled to say it now.
Say.
Just about wrist and arm power. And damn it, I did say it was immature. Oh, I think I get the joke now. Congratulations on turning that around on me. I'm I'm pretty sure I could have turned around anything on you, Xanalar. Let's see. So jelly of your lines, Cradler.
I do the swooshes.
I know, but it's so hard for me to do the swooshes.
It's just a flick of the wrist.
My wrist doesn't like to move.
Flick of the arm. Go from the elbow.
Oh, that hurts my elbow.
Oh, don't go that hard.
Look, Cradler, my arms sit in one position like a zombie at the keyboard. They are not built for moving.
We're gonna figure some arm yoga out for you or something.
We're gonna have to.
What if you move from what is it, the ulna? It's like the ulna.
The ulna and the radius to the.
Click those.
Oh, I used to know all of these. Because I used to study human anatomy. No questions on that one, please. Random 3 kinda uses their shoulder to draw straight lines. Intriguing, let me try with the shoulder. No, those are not straight at all. I don't have the knack for straight lines.
I mean, I would imagine you can get a muscle memory for it. I just have not bothered to.
How do you isolate your shoulder and not anything else? I mean, at best, if I move just my shoulder, no, I'm still moving one of my spines.
I wanna.
Little stretch.
That's not really straight right now. I don't know what you're talking about. Alright, but that one was. Eh. They're not where I want them to be, but they're straight-ish.
They're straightish. It's a weird movement.
Is
The, pro-
something.
the problem is my shoulder blades move my spines. Yeah, I can't do it. I can't figure it out. I feel like yours is like the sketch that would be in like a book. I feel like mine is like the thing that someone has made one night trying to get the image out of their dreams. Which I suppose probably isn't inaccurate for the way this kind of thing.
I need to grab my phone charger so I can peek at the stream and see Earth.
It's coming out okay.
I'm sure it's coming out fabulous.
I do like how you do this weird old man cradler thing.
Ash, just become ancient. At random intervals.
Do you know what you sound like to me? You sound like off-brand Deckard Cain. Did you ever play the Diablo series? It's easier on paper. Paper's a very different medium. I actually miss it a lot in some ways. I love what you can do with the digital medium, but I feel like I have a much better surety of motion on paper. But maybe it's because I don't have like a really great tablet. I have a very, very crappy tablet that I can't even see the screen on.
I mean, I got a Genius Pen sketch 9x12. It's discontinued.
I think yours is actually a better tablet than mine.
I don't remember what you have.
I have a Wacom Intuos.
I mean, those are okay.
Yeah, exactly. It's a tiny, like, it's tiny in like 5 inches, maybe 6. Yeah, it's about 20 centimeters, so maybe 6 or 7 inches. It's fine. But as soon as I'm able to, I want to get one where I can see what I'm doing on the tablet. I think that would afford me such a greater degree of freedom and versatility.
Yeah. I'm gonna be right back.
Alright.
Drank a lot of Gatorade. I'm gonna grab the charger.
Okay. Oh, on your phone. I may very well add it to my throne at some point. First things first, though. I need to redo that whole thing in the future. And I will, soon. Well, I say soon. Soon as I am able. I'm using a stylus myself. An interesting experience. I think it's much more suited to do things like sculpting or more mouse work than it is strictly this, but it serves. It will serve. I'm concerned, not a random three, with what you're plotting. Yeah, I could see perhaps a very enterprising group of adventurers finding a way to retain the services and iknitese a little bit. It'd be a very interesting enterprise. I don't know how long they could hold it because they're quite intelligent and they will do everything in their power to try and get free to touch someone again. My personal belief what happens if you amputate the trunk slash tongue? I don't know about the trunk. The tongue itself will grow again over time. But like anything you hurt, they may not take kindly to it. Yeah. Ah, I thought you might be trying to do that. Well, welcome back, another random three. Thank you for the raid. How was your stream? They did indeed, Zadel. See, I have these. I should just use those. I'm just gonna use them. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna Oh, I had an idea, and I'm gonna try and pursue that. I'm gonna try and use some of the new brushes to do a thing. You could bring people, if you so chose, Random 3. Your people are always welcome here. Hmm. Indeed. Welcome back, Rainbow. Are you trying to... Let me know if you're trying to see. I'll do a zoom out.
Yeah, let me see.
Okay. Give me a minute and I'll pull back. Oh, that's... Okay. I think I got the G-pin working now. Now that I've started to do it the other way as well. So I guess we'll have a weird little hybrid thing. Okay. There it is. All blue color. Only blue. There you go, Crinkler. That's where it is currently.
I like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah, yours is so nice and stately though. Mine's like this weird pleating thing.
I mean, it's supposed to be a weird bleeding thing, isn't it?
It is. It is.
I was just thinking, like, because you said the trunk out like an elephant, so then I was like, okay.
But it's like the head is so good, and that little body is so good.
And then you said grubs, and I was thinking about caterpillars, and then we brought up the squonk, and
Yep, they're half the lumps and woozles. They're very confusals. They come in good shapes and size. If it's honey you covet, you'll find out they love it. Because they only want the thing you prize. How the heck did... Because, darling, this is the power of the alien mind. I have 2 brain cells, and that's probably 2 more than most people. And I'm working on a 3rd. I can remember anything, just so long as it gives me absolutely no actual advantage in day-to-day life. For some reason, things that would actually help me in day-to-day life are not accessible. I'm sure you have at least one, not a random 3. $100 billion. And yet somehow, I remembered the Heffalumps and Woozles song. And you did not. Again, superiority of the alien mind, where you have a cluttered, endless mess of brain cells. I only have 2 sleek ones, gently warming me from the inside by the friction as they rub together.
I want 2 sleek brain cells.
Doesn't everyone?
I would imagine. imagine the power of 2 sleek brain cells.
Oh, so much power. I can endlessly think of ways. Mostly to make myself sad.
No. Illegal use of 2 brain cells.
I know, right? I'm not taking proper care of these brain cells. At some point, child service is going to come and take them away from me. They can have my brain cells. They can never have my drugs. One day, I will forget the last piece of knowledge I ever knew, and finally be complete.
Then you'll be free.
Yep, free from everything. Oh, Xanalar, darling, don't destroy yourself. Neither of you start destroying yourselves. I'd like you to. You don't get to be destroyed. Not on my watch.
No distraction allowed.
I see what you were doing there. I'm gonna have to go back and redo the face like this. I do indeed.
Don't really like how you did the face on yours.
Thank you. No, I mean the lines for it. I suddenly figured out how to ink in this program, and so I want to do it like.
Do it that way?
Yes. I told you. I know everything, or at least can give you an answer to everything.
What's the colors?
What the colors for it? I imagined as like a bloom thing, that it was very chromatic, almost in like an oil spill or a pearlescent sort of way. I imagine they were probably relatively neutral colors with strange highlights of vibrancy. The only thing I know for sure is their tongues are always red and look like filaments of light. At least that's how they've been described.
Time to have no idea what I'm doing again. Let's go. Wee.
Random 3, we're all waiting.
They up to?
They promised an answer to something. Isn't it always? Sadly, though, that's not actually the answer. I can tell you what the answer is, if you want. But it won't make sense without the question. 42. It's 42. No, it was never Alexa's thing. Alexa just stole it and copied it. That's all. If you think it's Alexa's thing, darling, I promise you you're misinformed. That's not a question, that's a statement. Well, good luck then. Oh, I like where you're going with those colors already.
Just classic. What were you throwing the fuck?
I always imagined that they were colored in a way that made them resemble some sort of familiar animal, if you know what I mean, but not right. Like, they might be colored with, like, the patterns of some sort of like leopard or dog or something similar. But they don't actually have the correct colors for one. Xanalar, darling, Alexa is not home spyware data gatherer. That is not something that's viable to say of an Amazon product on the Amazon streaming platform.
Go get you.
I assure you, it monitors absolutely zero data and does not gather all sorts of tracking metrics on your shopping patterns, search history, vocal print, tones, moods, and other sorts of interactions that occur between you and any other creatures within a 30 to 50-foot radius of it.
Definitely doesn't happen.
No. Maybe if they get lucky, and maybe when they grow up, not a random 3. Maybe when they grow up. Every time I redo this thing, it's a little bit more wrinkly.
Wrinkle.
Okay, we'll get you to get the swoosh down.
Yes. Just going to vibe. I can't blame you. It's a good day for vibing. I don't know if I'm going to manage to actually finish this tonight. I want to.
But sometimes it's probably okay to finish after stream, because bodies have needs.
In this case, the art demands it of me. I feel like the art knows how it wants to be drawn. Not a random 3. You're not allowed to die, even if I had to send some drones down to manually pump your lungs. Alright? That's an empty threat for now. I'm still waiting on the first batch to hatch.
But once they're hatched.
Once that hatched, though.
Once they're hatched. Go time.
I think I want to say that Knuckles the Echidna in Sonic Adventure 2 was the best at drowning. I feel like that's probably the case.
How did we get on Knuckles drowning?
It's so drippy. Not drippy, like a bit runny or squishy, maybe? I don't know how to put it the way mine's coming out.
Squishy. Well, maybe you said soft-bodied, right?
Yeah, I just wasn't quite expecting them to feel this much like a prune. Not like a prune, like I feel like I could grab one and just knead it. Like a hairless cat.
Is it because I sent you the squawk?
I don't know. Maybe.
Squawk influence.
Maybe it's a squonk influence.
The squawk looks pretty
Yeah,
squishy.
like a squishy caterpillar, yes. Okay, I've mostly recovered from where I was in terms of progress. Okay.
Squishy caterpillar's why I thought of squawk sand.
Is she now officially Zan?
Squishy sand now.
I do like the evolution of Cradler, by the way. Going from CT to Cradler.
Ventured.
I almost had it. There we go.
Been in old chat logs a lot over the last month, so I ran across the first time I ever used Crazy Toddler, and I got very nostalgic.
Oh. I will refrain from being curious and asking what you were before Crazy Toddler.
Oh, I mean, you could ask. I was just trying to remember what I used.
No. Don't worry. Oh, that looks beautiful, Cradler. Well, not a random 3. Pain is a natural response to falling out of bed. Be careful with that.
Falling out of bed. We're gonna get you guardrails.
Yes, we will acquire some guardrails for you, if needed. Brandon, hello, darling. Thank you so much for the bits. How are you doing this evening? It's been a little bit since we've seen Brandon, hasn't it? You realize that my scales are somewhat prismatic, right? They could be light blue too. How are you doing this evening, Brandon? Well, I hope you feel comfortable here then. I'd be happy for you to stay with us and avoid that scenario further. You should only spend money when you're prepared to. The strange outsider energy known as currency is something to be gathered and spent as the hive needs, or as each individual member is called to do so, their own lives. There we go. If there's one thing about digital that is distinctly, like, very useful, it's that you can try again with a line. If you make a mistake on paper, you've made a mistake.
You have made a grave error.
Yes. With the, with the inking.
Yeah, if somebody shakes your table or something, or you sneeze while you're inking, you're just done. You gotta trace it.
Yeah. And have a good F? Have a good sleep. Well, thank you so much, Brandon. Thank you for the little hearts. And I understand your predicament. But I think your friends, if I know your friends, would understand. And yes, not a random 3 prismatic scales. You have to understand, my scales are are chitinous outgrowths from my hide. But they're a crystalline metallic, they're a crystalline chitinous outgrowth, which means they're based in sucrose, but they also have a lot of mineral lattice in them. For instance, in my case, there's a lot of corundum, aluminium oxide, titanium, chromium, vanadium, and a little bit of magnesium. I think there's also some iron, too. Zanla, are you trying to say I'm overweight? Because I'm not. I swear I'm not. So in reverse order, yes, I do need supplements, or at least, I guess, dietary, I usually either get them as part of nutrient paste, part of, or part of, like, chewables, basically. And do my scales burn a bright white? The answer is, it's like kind of a blue-white. It's kind of a blue-white. There's not enough chromium in it to really blaze blue. I should virtually blaze white, but it's kind of a silvery white with some blue. And I'm sure we can do something to get that way up. Maybe I'll have a drive for biots for you, not a random. I don't have enough magnesium. I don't have enough magnesium for that to overtake things. I'm predominantly corundium aluminium. If you're wondering about metallic compositions, it's corundum aluminium chromium sucrose are my primary constituents. Titanium and iron are big secondaries. Magnesium and vanadium make up much smaller amounts. I wouldn't know, darling. Gallium is... It's not... How do I put this? It's like any sort of toxic chemical compounds are to humans. It's annoying and irritating, but unless you were to inject, but like it's not going to stop me, it's just going to burn. And it's not like this is all throughout my hide, you understand? Only the scales. It does soften my scales. I do know some people who use it to help style themselves. I've never been that old. Like, I don't have pain receptors in my scales. What would be the point? I have it in my hide, not my scales. They're armor. Right, it doesn't hurt when you clip a nail unless you do it wrong. Like, gallium isn't going to defeat me unless you dunk me in it. Besides, you don't want to try to fight the alien. You should be hugging the alien. Embrace the alien. Oh, ice cream, absolutely. Cradler, ice cream or Pop-Tart?
Ice cream or Pop-Tart?
You have to choose one.
Probably ice cream.
Yeah, always ice cream, right? Like, if you could only have one, when are you going to be choosing the Pop-Tart?
I guess if we're going on like a trail ride or something, then I'm gonna be choosing a Pop-Tart just because that'll go in a saddlebag.
You realize there's an entire species of me out there, right? I'm sure you could hug plenty of them as well. But thank you, darling. I appreciate it. Well, Zanlar, go with all my love. Take care of yourself. I think I like the idea of some party being saddled with one of these because of all the questions it raises. Oh, in that case, I will look forward to seeing you again soon. Like, do you kill this thing? Because it behaves like a doggo, right?
Yeah.
Would you reject it? Would you fight it? It will follow you. It wants you to love it. That's all right. All I ask is that you be kind to the drones. They're here for you, after all.
Pretty sure unless whatever character I had knew what it was, they'd probably end up letting it follow them until horrible things happened.
Until horrible things happened. That's always the entail, isn't it? Until horrible things happen.
Till horrible things.
Okay. Oh, there we go. Look at this lad. I promise you, not a random 3. I will do exactly as I please. But I will be here when you return. Alright, let's see. Yeah, and I think that's part of the appeal of them for me, in a way. Because they feel like they should be manipulators, like they should be something insidious or harmful, but they're not. They just want your love and affection.
Just wanna be friendly.
Friends forever. Yeah, I like that they're probably the most benign thing to come out of there. It's a very different. I don't even know if you could say it's a world out there. I guess since I would say, and since they are, it is Aido. I guess I'm the one able to say. I think you could probably make one very unhappy if you kept it as a safe entity. You'd have to do a lot of very hard work though to keep it like that.
Yeah.
It would never resent you. It would never hate you. It just wouldn't understand. It would always be longing to properly be together with you. It will love you to death. And that's what I like about it. I think most things from the outside are actually entirely innocent. They no more understand our world than I was about to say a cloud. Really, they no more understand our world than, say, I suppose, this. I would say Pluto understands the planet Earth. Welcome back. I hope you have some wonderful ice cream with you. We're just talking about the fact that despite all of their strangeness, these things are entirely innocent to the world, and that they raise an interesting ethical dilemma about how you want to approach it. My personal belief is that these are what the outside understands children to be. That's my personal belief. Not that they are children in some kind of mysterious way or anything like that, but rather as the outside looks inwards and it sees these small things that hold your hand and simply crave your love and care. And this is what it makes of them. Not maliciously, not with the intent to harm, but simply as it watches the world. This is what it sees. And it tries to replicate it in the same way water tries to replicate motion that is pressed upon it. It's said, perhaps, that everything of the outside is merely the mirror of everything we know. And I believe that. Even though it's relatively benign, if I were to stick a CR onto this, I believe it's like a CR 4 or 5. The small ones, anyway. They can probably go up to about like a CR 12. I hope you have a wonderful rest, Brandon 3. Go with all of my love, and take care of yourself. I'm sure we will have an amazing stream. I think it's been an amazing stream. Don't you, Cradler?
Good vibes going.
Good vibes. Much art vibes. I look forward to it. Next scheduled stream will be Sunday at the usual time of 21 EDT or 9 p.m. in 12-hour time. We'll once again be delving into the darkest of dungeons. I have to wonder what music sounds like. To humans, I mean. I don't hear the tones you do.
Apparently I hear more tones than the normal person. So.
Intriguing. How'd you
Or
find
at least
out?
I used to. Because I went to an ear, nose, throat person because I was complaining that I wasn't able to hear things that I would normally be able to hear. And I passed the hearing test perfectly. And they're like, if you were missing sounds, you would be at the maximum, which is beyond the average maximum that I had already tested at.
That's amazing.
So
That sounds a bit disconcerting too, though.
So I was a little bit sad because I was like, well, but I'm still missing pitches and stuff because my songs don't sound the same anymore.
Yeah. Whereas to me, my understanding then of human media has always been attenuated through the fact that my species isn't tonal in the hearing ranges that your species is. So it's quite difficult. Because I always wonder what it's supposed to sound like to you. And if I have any experience of that, or if we're in worlds that can see each other's, but are only as connected as the earth and sky, or the wave and water. These are things I sometimes think about. It's where many ideas come from. If you are going to try and work on something, you should get ideas for it. And most of my ideas come from thinking about things like that. So it's something that I like to think about. What if the idea of what is outside, the things outside, is that they were designed or constructed, might be a word, with the idea that they would reflect or distort aspects of what everyone knew as the real. I wanted the outside to be a place that was familiar and made sense, but only to the person who saw things that way. In this case, I suppose, only to myself. I was talking about the design of the outside, Xandalon. I was saying that part of the outside's design was that I think one of the major concepts of it was that it would make sense, but only if you could understand exactly how I thought, exactly what I felt, which I'm not sure is something that your species can do or is capable of. As much as I've been steeped in your local culture, as much as I've learned your language and understand many things about who you are, I don't think as a human does. I don't exist in the way a human does. My concept of the way the world is different, and I want the outside to feel familiarly alien, like someone understood aspects of you, but didn't understand why they existed. For the outside to be completely understandable if one were to only know or be able to look at it from the right perspective. Or at least the things from it. The other place I get fodder from the outside is often my dreams, because I frequently wake up to get away from my dreams. I don't know if anyone else has that issue.
Sometimes.
It's a tragedy, isn't it?
It's a thing.
It's a thing.
Definitely a thing.
This is not one of them. The iknitese was entirely designed to be something that loved people, but whose existence would ultimately destroy them, and that it would never be able to understand this.
Unrequited love given full.
Not just unrequited love, but an eternal limerence that is unable to be quenched or resolved. That, you know, when people talk about love that burns so brightly, it destroys what it touches?
Mhm.
That is these things. Also, Xanalar, that is an intriguing way to awaken. No, only sapient peoples. More than one can imprint on the same individual, if that's what you're asking. But no. You hate it because you wake up grumpy, and you know you can't get in the last word or give a rebuttal to what was said because you. So you're upset because you stopped arguing with the person. You weren't able to finish arguing with the person in your dreams. That sounds like an amazing campaign hook, if you'll pardon my saying so. I'd love to do that with a character. But whenever they're asleep, but every time you sleep, you argue with someone, and on waking, you can't remember it. I can often very clearly remember my dreams for about 30 seconds, and they're perpetually lost. Okay. Yeah. I like it looking like they're gently crying all the time. Let's see. Think.
If they look sad, it'll lure in everybody who's a softie, because they'll be like, oh, it's sad. It needs love.
It would, wouldn't it? Maybe why would I do that? Part of the description is they have sad eyes.
Yeah. And it's not little pupper eyes. Puppy eyes. And they do a little wooby puppy eye and the wooby cute. Oh no, puppy eyes.
There we go.
And then you get into the wooby eyes.
Yes. Okay. Here we go. Yes, okay. Now it's time to actually try out one of these light little brushes.
Do it. Use the power.
Oh, you don't think I'm going to? I'm absolutely going to.
The power. Unlimited power. No, it's good.
It is
slightly-
absolutely unlimited power. Why would I do it? Why wouldn't I do it? It's the thing of the outside.
Yeah, this is also like what I end up when
There are
people
some
ask.
who consider such powers unnatural. I'm sure there are some. It's amazing.
Which brush you playing with?
One of the evergreen ones, actually.
Nice.
I think I really got this the way I was hoping for it to look, actually, using this.
Bonus.
Very fractal, if you're familiar with fractals.
Going peeking at it. Yes.
There we go. Now we can just... Oh, that's amazing. I'm not concerned if whether people consider this power unnatural or not. All I know is I'm going to abuse it.
think we're gonna have power at our fingertips and leave it unused?
Oh, absolutely not. That would just be unacceptable. A waste of the power. There we go. Time to start working on coloring these. Let me see. Yeah. I'm gonna do that kind of color. I like the idea that they're it's a little too dark. Not something, yeah, like that, for the base. Or do I? No. Let's do something almost creamy.
Creamy.
Yeah, I would look very, like, it's hard to explain. Like you wouldn't mind squeezing it.
Just
Yeah. And I like the idea that it has a, I'm probably gonna give it some nice markings on its, oh, I know what I want to do. I'm gonna use a warm complementary scheme is what I'm going to do. For this very strange little thing. I want this to be something that people, when they encounter in the world of Aido, slowly learn to become afraid of, not because they're aggressive, they're not really, and not because they're going to try and do something awful to you, because they don't want to, not really. But rather because they know that dealing with one is going to be a matter of trying to find a way to reason with an entity that has no rationality to it, that has no ability to comprehend their fear or their disgust or their frustration with it, that loves them unconditionally and will do anything it can to stay with them and be with them forever. I guess a cynical person, or someone who wants to make an easy joke, might say that all I've done is found a way to create a monster inspired by matrimony.
I was gonna say commitment scares a lot of people, so
I knew someone was going to make that joke if I didn't. I think the highest CR these would be And Aido is a PF2 based setting. It has some of its own in-house rules, and this is actually content that's being made for it that you'll get to see over time. But in PF2, I wouldn't put this as a challenge rating. Even like the biggest, most veteran of these, unless something very special was done to it, unless it was warped and twisted at the hands of someone. I wouldn't put its CR any higher than like a 9 at most, right? And that would be an exceptional one. I'd like put them usually between CR 3 and 7.
Pretty decent range.
Yeah, well, I imagine you can find smaller ones or larger ones, right? Like, them being the size of a sheep hound is probably about the average. I imagine you could, find them somewhat smaller and potentially larger. Like, I imagine you could probably find them up to, like, tiger-sized, right?
Yeah.
And probably all the way down to, like, a golden retriever, maybe, right?
Like a decent range of like medium to large.
Yeah, with most of them averaging around the wolfhound area. But, although speaking of mutations, wolf to horse, wolves are fairly large, but yeah, I think that's around the right range. Maybe wolf to pony, maybe not a full horse. Speaking of the idea, though, that they are. Speaking of the idea of. I guess. Warping one or mutating one, I could see these being potentially valued by a certain kind of a chalky based spellcaster because they're loyal and they will do anything you ask of them. And if you want to really explore what the balloon can do to a creature, you'd have no better subject than an iknitese. It would, no matter what you did to it, no matter how much you hurt it, it would always stay there, always come back, always still long for you.
Not only can they accidentally absorb, well, not really absorb you, but love you to death, but probably love you for till your own death.
Yes, I could see one's being I could see a certain kind of very cruel person spending a long time trying to figure out exactly how you kill one of these.
And the thing will just be there like, will you love me now? Oh.
Yes. There we go. I could easily see one being infused with various creature templates, I suppose, is the right idea. I suppose would be the right term.
Yeah. They sound like they have a range of variability.
Everything from the outside only has the forms imposed on it by the physical world of Aido. So, it's why even though there's terms for these concepts of what things are, they apply to a range of creatures, because their form isn't usually exactly the same. It's dependent on how they come through, and maybe to a certain extent where. So I imagine they take templates that are forced on them with a relative ease. I'd like it to be fairly cruel to do that to one of them, given their disposition. I suspect most people would probably be more inclined simply to try and get away. You wouldn't want to involve yourself with one of these, would you?
Probably not if you could help it, but I feel like that also, again, hinges on, like, do you know?
It's a very big question.
It's like, if you don't know, to not get involved.
If you don't know not to get involved, would you? You might.
Right.
Sandlar thinks you'd find out very quickly.
You might find out quickly, but it's also like, you might also just fall for those big doe eyes.
I think it depends on the specimen. I imagine the ones that have survived longer in the world might be more inclined to wait until you sleep. Because the thing is, they're not unintelligent. They're simply completely and utterly single-minded in their goal of trying to be with you, of trying to latch onto you and to be held and hold you. So, ones that have maybe gone through several people might have learned to wait until you're asleep. But I feel like a good GM or DM wouldn't throw that at early level party. Or at least, not one who wasn't evil. So, it might happen at my table. See. That's what I want. No. You don't want that. I'm gonna stick with that. Over here. Gonna... I don't think the young ones, or I suppose young to the world, would try and do it while you were asleep. When they're older, when they've maybe been through an owner or two, then they might. If that was something they had learned, it was more likely to let them entangle themselves with whoever they'd imprinted on. I feel like most of them, though, would try and make sure you were happy with them as soon as they could, and then try to enmesh with you as quickly as they could. And it has these big, sad, blue eyes. Yeah, we have to go back to that. I can see that already. Uh, feel like the apex of an iknitese would be one that had achieved the status of being named, one who had been around for so long that it had acquired a name and an understanding and reputation. That it was known as someone who went to try and find people that it could love and it could have as its own. It would move through grasses or forests alongside roads and would stand and wait for people to meet its gaze. Super weird. One whose need to be loved and accepted and cared for, and it got to the point where it was recognized as a danger to an area. I think it would be the apex of them.
Hugged a lot of people.
A lot of people.
Aido hugging champion.
Yes. Although I don't think people would see it that way. They probably see it as a monster, something that seems to exist only to torment them, only to try and drive them from their homes and their buildings. And it would not understand. It would never understand. It would follow them and continue to follow them, insisting that they loved it and were prepared to be as deeply aligned with it as it was with them. Far too squishy to be this edgy. I like that. That means that they are working as intended. I don't think they mean it in an edgy way, though. I don't think it's an edginess thing for them. Do you, Cradler? Because I don't.
Oh, they're not trying to be edgy. They're just one love.
They're just perpetually lonely. And it's the only thing that fixes that. They are, I think, the eternal need for others. Well, you already finished, haven't you, Cradler?
I'm still thinking around.
Okay. That gives you some hope.
I'm still thinking around.
Okay, let's go over here and let's get some highlights and etching on the front of these. Yeah, I always think, Raven, darling, how are you doing? Your people are well. It's wonderful to see you. We are drawing different interpretations of a iknitese, which is a little thing from the outside. All it wants is to love you and be praised by you, and to intertwine its very anatomy with yours, so that you may never part from each other.
Yeah.
How are you doing this evening?
Great.
Well, it sounds like you had a great night then. I'm sorry you have to nurse a hangover, but I'm glad of your presence. Hopefully we here can help with a hangover. I think we so. Don't you, Cradler?
I'll help him with the hangover.
Yeah.
I don't know, I'm gonna make it worse. We could try though. We could try to be helpful.
I think we will try and succeed. Telling strange things outside. I told a lot of stories of these. Cradler, do you want to give your hand at one?
The stories of these guys?
Yeah. Tell me a story.
I'm a terrible storyteller.
It's fine. Maybe someday, Raven, maybe someday, I would need some time to get something set up. According to Xanalar, you're roboting a little Cradler.
Am I roboting? Laced with a robot.
Please let us know if that improves it.
It might not, it might just be the cursed sound card being cast.
I certainly hope not. If you have some other confirmation, that would definitely be appreciated. Yeah. Where is that? Here we are. Okay. According to Raven, it is roboting some. I will do what I can. We are going to try. Okay. I have done what I can for it. Hopefully that will improve. Okay, it's a little bit on my side too. I'm sorry you're able to hear it. Did not improve. Hang on a moment, Cray Toddler. In a moment, I'm going to ask you to reestablish the stream, alright? One moment, everyone. We'll be right back, very briefly. Hello, everyone. We are back. I think it's been solved.
Maybe.
Please, again, let me know if it is not.
Doubt.
Oh, don't say doubt. Solved. Excellent. We're good.
Amazing.
Yep, no, wait, we have confirmation. We are okay.
Hooray. Hooray, hooray, hooray.
Alright. Let's go. Oh, that's a hydrate. Raven, shouldn't you be hydrating right now?
We're getting the hydrates.
There we go.
Guess I can hydrate.
Yeah. Thank you for joining me in the hydration.
Yeah.
That's fascinating.
Oh, I like the color in yours.
Oh, thank you. Oh, same. I have not looked at yours in a while. It's wonderful.
Yeah,
I
color.
yeah, I was actually about to go in. Oh, and you have pizza rolls. That sounds amazing.
Pizza rolls.
I want to add this to the eyes a little bit. And then here, do this, and
What is this?
yeah, I have just a little bit more I want to do, and I think I might be done. How about you?
This is alright.
I think so.
Looks pretty good here. Well. Okay.
Here we go. Oh, yeah. We're gonna come over here. Do this, come here, to
Again. Doo doo. Nate.
oh no, one last one. Big sad eyes. Hang on. Can I do that? And then, yep, I can do. Oh, there we go.
Iknitese.
Yes. I need to do a signature. Yours
Well,
is amazing. Yes. I need to get one.
We'll make a little signature.
You know what, I will. I don't know.
Make a little.
There we go.
I'm gonna add some. Where'd that one effect brush go? Where is it?
That's perfect. Get mine centered. Oh, that's amazing. Okay. Yeah. That's some amazing artwork. I love yours. I do not. Oh, yeah, I have to get that.
I'm adding the rainbow. The rainbow has to be there.
The rainbow of the bloom.
Yeah.
I actually did a thing around the edges of mine
Sparkle.
to try and reference that as well.
There's a. As soon as my thing freaks out, little prism dust. Little prism dust going. Yeah.
Nice. I think we're.
Yeah.
I think we are. I think we're pretty good. I don't have a great signature yet.
I think it's pretty decent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad you enjoy these little lads. Yep,
I
all
think
of
they're
this.
fun.
Yeah, all of this in 3 hours. I think we've done quite well for ourselves.
Bad? Not bad at all.
Mm-mm. These are the iknitese, who want nothing more than to be your friend. They will follow you to the ends of the earth to get it. And when they have your company, they will entangle their tongues to your flesh to make sure you never abandon them again. I think this is us for tonight. Everyone, thank you so much for coming. Thank you to all my experiencers for this encounter. Thank you to all my wonderful hivelings and my friends. All of my love. Take care of yourselves. Rayler, is there anything you'd like to add?
Just throw in the standard, that's Gamina-san.
Alright. Now we are going to go and visit a friend of mine who is currently playing some lovely old school things.
Yeah.
Everyone, take care, and I can't wait to see you all again. Good night. When you get there, do skitter all over their chat and let them know that the hive has arrived.
Get us.
Till next time. Mwah.